We've had an horrendous few days on site. We've had high winds, we've had that storm, we've had lots of rain, but worse than that, we've had a few days of minus temperatures, -3, -4. And as a result of that, some people on site have suffered more than others. Just an update once again on what has been happening on site since we've had such terrible weather over this last week. As you know, I do the gardening on site, so regardless of how cold it might be, I still have to go out and check certain things, keep on top of that grass for a start, because although it's cold, it might not look like it's growing, but it is, just slowly. And it turns out it's a very good thing that every single day I'm patrolling around this site checking things, because when I passed one at Vans a couple of days ago, I noticed that there was water pouring out of it, and it was all the way along both sides of this van, which is absolutely soul destroying to see for other people. So after a quick inspection, I had a peep through a window and I could see that the van had flooded. And since I haven't got the keys to that van and that person is not actually on site, the only thing I could do at that time was turn the main water supply off outside and stop it flooding anymore. Unfortunately, that wasn't all that happened. Because I'd seen that, I decided it'd be a very good idea to inspect every single caravan on this site from one end to other, since I know there's quite a lot of them that people have closed up for winter and they've gone home. And after walking around this site, I found 4. And all of these vans were flooded inside. And also for different reasons. You know that when you leave your caravan and go home for winter, you're supposed to drain it down. And there's a couple of vans that didn't do that. And of course, if that van's locked up and nobody can get inside it, then the only thing that you can do is turn the water off from the outside. But over a period of time, if these people don't come back and check on these vans, it's going to cause a lot of damage. One van, however, flooded and the guy is still on site, but he made a mistake, and I suppose it's one that anybody could make. He got up in the morning, went to make a drink, and there was no water coming out at taps, so obviously the pipes had froze. And then he went off to work, and his van was one of the vans that completely flooded, because he made the mistake of not checking that he turned the tap off. So during the course of that day, the ice has melted, the taps turned on full, and unfortunately the sink filled up. The water poured across the worktops, onto the floor, and flooded the living room of that van. Little things like that you could quite easily miss. So it's always best to double check things like that. Everybody gets in a position at some point where you turn on a tap and nothing comes out. You know the pipes have froze, there's not much you can do about that except wait. But just make sure that if you do that, turn that tap off before you walk away. I'm sure it's a pretty easy mistake to make and is not the first person that's done that, but it's resulted in quite a bit of damage. It's horrible walking around site and seeing all these vans with basically a waterfall pouring out of each side of it. You know exactly what's going on inside and there's not much that can be done about it. It's horrendous to see so many vans on site flooding. We were lucky because nothing happened to ours, but we are still in this van. But I think one of the main things is we spent quite a lot of time during summer getting underneath the vans and lagging all those pipes, and it's definitely made a difference. But apart from doing that, we've also lagged the pipes in the kitchen, under the sink and in the shower area as well. Everything has had double coverings, a lagging, bubble wrap, anything that we can use to help protect them. We ran low at one point, so we just cut up an old towel, wrapped it all around those pipes and then tie wrapped it on. Anything is better than nothing, and it seems to have done the trick for us at least. But it's a key thing to remember, and I have heard people talk about it on this channel over the last few months, that you should never leave your van for any period of time without draining it down first. There's a couple that's obviously forgot to do that, and that is now going to cost them. One of the vans is the one directly behind me as well, and that was pouring so much water out underneath the van, it was like a swimming pool. as I said, there's nothing more you can do except turn off the external main water feed and hope for the best. But I did check every single caravan on this site, getting underneath as well, just to make sure there wasn't a slight leak from within the centre of that van that you wouldn't notice as you were walking past. And also a couple of vans have got skirting on them. So if they're leaking water out, you're not going to see that. But they have got these little hatches on the sides of them, so you can just take those off and have a good look underneath, which is what I did. And I'm glad to say that there wasn't any more casualties, if you like. But the morning time, it seemed everything was perfectly fine. It's when the sun came around, all of a sudden, all these vans flooded. So as horrible as it is to see, it is a lesson to be learnt for everybody. If you've got a static caravan, never leave them unattended without draining down. Make sure there's as much lagging on those pipes as possible, because we're not at the coldest part of the year yet. This is autumn, it's not winter. So we could be looking at temperatures of -4 and -6. I have been told by people on this site that you very rarely get snow in this area. Yet a couple of days ago, if you saw my previous video, it was snowing. The only thing you can't predict is the weather. So the best thing that you can do is make sure that you're fully prepared for anything that could occur. So this was just a quick update to let you know what's been happening on site over the last few days. And it's horrendous for everybody that's been affected. But it's definitely worth making this video just in case there's people out there that might think, did we drain down when we left our van? But you've got two choices. If you've not drained down, it's probably worth taking a trip back and getting that job done, just in case, especially if you're not going back to your van until spring. Or if there's people on site and you know they are, you could get in touch with those and just ask them to turn the main water feed off from outside your van. Every single van has got its own tap. So just by doing that is going to prevent your caravan from flooding, should any pipes burst inside. But if you are still at your van, it's definitely worth double checking those pipes for lagging and adding extra layers to it. It's not going to cost a lot, but if you don't do it and then you're not at your van and those pipes do burst, then that is going to be quite a bill for you come new season. Anyway, thank you so much for being part of this channel. I really do appreciate it, and I will be keeping you updated on what happens over the next couple of months as well. So if you want to see any updates concerning caravan life in the UK, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I look forward to seeing you on the next update. Take care.